Now we will be studying about the food chain. You can write it down that what do you mean by a food chain? A food chain describes how each organism eat each other for survival. Okay, the chain starts. The chain usually starts. You can write it. You can write that chain usually starts with a plant and ends with an animal. See, this is usually. Mark this word usually. This means that there can be other food chains also which may not start with a plant and end with an animal, like the food chain of like microorganisms. They themselves have a different food chain. So you have to pay emphasis in this word usually. You cannot come up like, ma'am, this is the ultimate truth. You told that it starts with plant and ends with an animal. No, see the word. I have written it usually. Like, what can you say? It's like general si baat hai. All right. There can be exceptions and there will be exceptions, but you don't have to break your head for that. Now, this is a simple definition of a food chain. You can see that a simple food chain, this is the picture, like this is a grass. Grass is eaten by a grasshopper, and then hopper is HOPPER, right? If I'm not wrong. Then this grasshopper is eaten by a frog. This frog is then eaten by a snake, and this snake is eaten by an eagle. Or what is it? Vulture? Does it look like that? Okay, something maybe. So you can see, and why are they eating each other? Why is this has become a food chain? Because this are eating for their survival. All right. By the way, let me clarify one thing. This will not be a vulture because vultures are scavengers. Okay, this will be an eagle. Just a second. Yeah. So I've corrected it. Yes. So this is just for the survival, a simple food chain. Let's see what's then in the next slide. Okay. Now we will be studying food chain with respect to trophic level. All I want you to open page 258 in your book, and you see that there's a definition given for trophic level. Second para. You see, each step or level of the food chain forms a trophic level. So, this is one level, second level. That one was C. This one was just a linear food chain, a simple one, just to show you all that how one eats another in this way. And this is like when we write the entire food chain in the form of levels, like steps, one step, second step, third step, fourth step, fifth step. So these each these steps are known as trophic level. So there's first trophic level, second trophic level, third trophic level, fourth, fifth, like that. Okay, so let's see what is there in the first trophic level. So the first trophic level are known as the producers. Now these are what can you see? These are grasses, plants. So what do? They produce food through what? Plants produce food via photosynthesis. Alright. Now, what will happen? These are the second trophic level has what? The primary consumers. So, this level, the animals in this level will consume the producers. Okay. and they become the primary consumer. That is the first level, primary first level consumer. They're consuming, that's why consumers. So who are they? Who are there in the consumer, first consumer level? These are the animals which don't produce energy, which don't produce energy, they just use up energy. They eat this, and whatever energy they get from these plants, they use that energy for their own digestion, for running, for hopping, in this way. Now see, those animals here, you can see these animals. If these animals eat plants, then they are known as the primary consumers, or they are known as the herbivores. Now animals eating other animals, okay, they are known as the secondary consumers or the carnivores. Confusing? Are you getting confused? Okay, let's see what's written here. Now these small animals will be eaten by whom? By secondary consumers. And they are in which level? They are in the third level. Secondary, first primary, second will be secondary. So they will eat up these animals, small animals. They won't eat these grasses or plants. They will eat these small animals. So they are secondary consumers. Now these secondary consumers will be eaten by carnivores, and they are in which level? They are in the fourth trophic level. And what are they known as? The tertiary consumers. Remember, see where the mistake will happen. So in the second trophic level, it's not the secondary consumers. In the second trophic level, it is the primary consumers. In the third trophic level, it is not the tertiary consumer. In the third trophic level, it is the secondary consumer. In the fourth trophic level, it is not the quaternary consumers. In the fourth trophic level, it is the tertiary consumer. Are you getting my point? Please make a note of this. Otherwise, you will get confused in the exam and you won't get marks. You'll work hard, but you won't get marks. So first, when it's the first trophic level, there are no primary, secondary, tertiary, quaternary, anything like that. It's just producers. When it comes to second trophic level, it becomes primary consumer. Second trophic level, but it's primary consumer. When it comes to third trophic level, it's not tertiary consumer. It is the secondary consumers. When it comes to fourth trophic level, it becomes the tertiary consumers. Now what happens is that then they will eat these organisms in the second trophic level. These, there's lion and cheetah, something, the animals you can see in the fourth trophic level. Then no other animals are there to eat these big tertiary consumers. All right. So they will eat up the secondary consumers, and then they will use up those energy, and eventually slowly as they age, they will die. Now who will come in picture? Then the fifth trophic level, that is the decomposers, will come in picture. What will the decomposers do now? See, they will eat, these decomposers are microorganisms. What will they do? They will eat these big organisms. In which way? So these animals will die. These big carnivores, they will die. And then what will happen is that they eat this decaying. These microorganisms will feed on the decaying matter of these carnivores. That is dead plants and animals. Plants will also be there, grasses will be there here and there. So these microorganisms will feed on this. And in this process, what will happen is they will break all these, parts down. They will break them down and decompose all this. They'll decompose it. When they'll decompose, what will happen is they will release energy. Obviously, when these fat cells, everything will get decomposed in the soil, then they will release nutrients. The dead and decaying matter will release nutrients and mineral salts. Okay. Who will release these nutrients and mineral salts? The dead and decomposed plants and animals. Then those nutrients which will be released in the soil, they will be used up by these producers and plants again. Producers, I mean plants. Again, are you getting my point? Right? Once again, I'll repeat that. See, the producers are there. This will be eaten up by the primary consumers. Again, I'm telling you, please be very careful with the trophic levels and the term given to each consumers. First trophic level does not mean first consumer, okay, or first producer. It's just producer. Second trophic level is primary consumer. Third trophic level is not third tertiary consumer, it's the secondary consumer. Fourth trophic level is the tertiary consumer. Tertiary means 3, right? So it's a third level of consumers. Now again, once again, so these producers will be there. These plants will be eaten up by this small primary consumer, which consists of, rabbits or sheep, goats, etc. And then these sheep, goats, etc., who are the primary consumers, they will be eaten up by whom? By these, snakes also eat up rabbits. And then there will be, the owls also, they feed on certain small primary consumers, and sort of other animals will be there. And then these animals will be eaten up by whom? By the tertiary consumer, the big carnivores. They will be eaten up by the carnivores. Then eventually no one will eat up these big carnivores, okay? It's not there that someone will eat up until and unless we human hunt, but we don't come in this food chain, we don't write it in this way. And then eventually they'll grow old and they'll die, and then will come in picture the microorganisms, which forms the fifth trophic level, and they are known as the decomposers because they help in the process of decomposing. Now they will act on the dead and decaying matter of these animals and plants nearby, which will help in releasing nutrients and mineral salts. These nutrients and mineral salts will be there in the soil, and these producers will take up those soil, and again the chain will keep on going on in nature. So that was all about the food chain.